So in chapter 2, today we are going to see about the construction working of a PNP transistor. Up till now we have seen NPN transistor. So today we are going to discuss about the PNP transistor. Okay. So what is the operating principle, how it works, what is the circuit diagram, that all details we will see. Okay. So the construction of PNP transistor. In PNP transistor, the function of emitter is to emit holes into the base. The base passes most of these holes onto the collector. So very few electrons recombine in N-type base region. The function of collector is to collect the holes traveled through base. The semiconductor material used to construct the transistor are silicon or germanium. The silicon is a cheap material with high energy gap 1.1 electron volt. Because of this, amount of minority charge carrier is reduced, resulting in low leakage current. The germanium transistors are costly. It is having energy gap 0.7 electron volt, causing higher leakage currents. Hence, nowadays mostly transistors are manufactured using silicon. As a single transistor or number of transistors is integrated circuits. Now operating principle. As we have already seen that a transistor has two junctions, emitter base and base collector, generally known as emitter junction and collector junction respectively. So there are four possible ways for biasing these two junctions. But to study operating principle of the transistor, we will consider one of the biasing combinations, that is emitter junction forward biased, collector junction reverse biased. In this combination, transistor is operated in active region and is useful for amplification of small varying signals. The other operating regions of operation for transistor are saturation cutoff regions. Now let us consider the operation of NPN transistor when emitter junction is forward biased and collector junction is reverse biased. So you just see, collector base junction offers very high resistance. Hence, the low input current from low resistance at the input is converted into higher output signal current as it is transferred to high resistance collector junction circuit. Also, we have seen IE is equal to IB plus IC. That is, input emitter current almost all flows in the collector circuit. Hence, by Ohm's law, for small signal transferred from low value resistance to higher value resistance, we get amplification action from the transistor. Hence the name is given as transistor. We can understand the principle of working of PNP transistor. Consider the basic connections of PNP transistors as emitter junction forward biased and collector junction reverse biased as shown in figure. As the emitter base junction is forward biased and emitter p-type is heavily doped, number of holes start to flow toward the base. This constitutes the emitter current IE. Now the base is n-type, lightly doped and very thin. Therefore, holes emitted from the emitter passes through it towards collector with recombination of few holes, less than 5% in the base region. The recombined holes create valence electron and passing it through the base terminal constitutes base current. So emitter base collector. The remaining number of holes, nearly 95% or more, cross over into collector region to constitute collector current IC. As the collector region is N-type and physically having large area, almost all holes crossing base are collected by it. Hence, the emitter current flows through collector except very few through base. For PNP transistor also we write IE is equal to IB plus IC. Here we remember that the operating principle for PNP transistor is same as NPN transistor, but the current conduction within PNP transistor is by holes. But in the external circuit, the current flow around PNP transistor is by electrons only. So specification parameters. Before we see the specifications for BJT transistor, it is necessary to know the types of transistors available. These type of transistors are due to its construction. Semiconductor material used and some operating features. In general, there are 4 types accordingly PNP and NPN transistor. This is due to the sandwiching of a P-type material or N-type material between emitter and collector. In P-type transistor, the majority charge carriers are positively charged holes, whereas in NPN transistor, negatively charged electrons are majority carriers. The basic characteristic of NPN and PNP are same. Only the difference is for majority carrier and biasing voltage polarities. Silicon transistors and germanium transistor. The semiconductor materials used in manufacturing the transistor decides one more type of transistor. That means which material is used for construction or making of a transistor, silicon or germanium. Now silicon transistors are available like BC147, BC107, etc. So germanium transistors are available like AC125, AC127, etc. Now the power transistors and small signal transistor. According to power dissipation, capacity of collector junction transistors are classified into low, medium, high power types where power is specified by PC max. The transistor with power dissipation rating up to 0.3 watts are low power transistor like BC147, BC107. The transistor with power dissipation rating from 0.3 to 3 watt are medium power transistors like SL100, SK100, etc. The transistors with power dissipation rating more than 3 watts are called high power transistors like 2N3055, BU265, etc. Frequency range. The transistors are also classified as low frequency up to 3 MHz like BC147, medium frequency 3 MHz to 30 MHz and high frequency 30 MHz to 300 MHz like BF194. The transistors which are operated higher than 300 MHz are called as microwave transistors. So the fourth classification is depending on the frequency range for which the transistor is operating. The specifications in detail are given in the semiconductor data manuals. In these data sheets, base diagram, bottom view of the transistor, its type, terminal, identification and the important parameters which are required in transistor circuit designing are given. These parameters are VCBO, VCO, IC, HFE gain, PD, power dissipation. The values are quoted to its maximum and minimum level. In some of the applications, range of frequency operation, effect of temperature on the operating parameters are required, which can be also find out from the data sheets. The data sheets for the transistors are searched according to the types of transistors as mentioned above. For switching transistor, the switching speed from few microseconds to 10 nanoseconds is specified as slow, medium, high, very high, ultra high speed specification. In particular application, accordingly, the transistor with its specification parameters can be selected by referring data manuals for semiconductor devices. IV characteristic. The transistor is 3-terminal device emitter base collector. In any circuit, we require 2 terminal for input and 2 terminal for output. But the transistor is having only 3, which causes to use 1 terminal common for input and output. There are 3 possibilities to connect the transistor in a circuit as common base connection, common emitter connection, common collector connection. Common base, common emitter, these are the 3 types. You just see how this name is there. When base is common, it is common base. When emitter is common, common means common to input and output, connected to ground. So it is common emitter. And when collector is common to input and output and it is connected to ground, it is a common collector. So each of the configuration has specific applications. advantages and limitations. But in all these three configurations, emitter is always forward biased and collector is reverse biased. As in most of the circuits we come across common emitter configuration, we study the IV characteristics for transistor in common emitter configuration. The other IV characteristic can also be studied from any reference book of basic electronics. We see that the actual IV characteristic for transistor, it is a 3-terminal device and one is common to input and output. We have input characteristic and output IV characteristic for a transistor in particular common mode connection. These IV characteristics are the graphical representation of the various voltages and currents. The complete electrical behavior of a transistor is described by these IV characteristics, which is useful in electronic circuit design using transistors. Sometimes in the data manuals, these characteristics are given for ready reference or user may vary them experimentally. Now we find out IV characteristic of common emitter connections. Configuration. Consider the circuit arrangement as shown in figure where emitter is common for input and output. Meters are placed to measure base current, collector current, base emitter voltage and collector emitter voltage. Note that emitter junction is forward bias and collector junction is reverse bias. The arrangement is done using rheostat such that we can vary the biasing voltages. Now first we see input IV characteristic for transistor. It is a curve between base current IB and base emitter voltage VB at constant collector emitter voltage. Circuit diagram to study IV characteristic of PNPN transistor in common emitter mode. As shown in circuit diagram in figure 2.6, the collector emitter voltage VC at the output transistor is kept constant at certain voltage, say 1 volt. Now by varying the base current IB at the input, note down the corresponding VB voltage between base emitter. So you just see VB is the input voltage to the common emitter. This is the IB current, this is a milliampere current, this is VC and this is VC. Okay, so this is a simple diagram. When you come in the lab, you can use this diagram for construction and you can study the IV characteristic by taking the different reading. Okay. The collector emitter voltage VC at the output of transistor is kept constant at certain voltage, say 1 volt. Now by varying the base current IB at the input, note down the corresponding VB voltage between the base emitter. The same procedure can be repeated at different voltages between collector emitter VC as 5 volts, 10 volts, etc. Then plot the readings obtained as a graph of base current IB on a y-axis and base current voltage VB on the x-axis, which is input characteristic for the transistor. Similarly, for 5 volt VC and 10 volt VC, we can have family of input characteristic as shown in figure. Now IB, this is the input characteristic, IV characteristic for a transistor. From the input characteristic of transistor, we see that it is a forward bias diode curve. Since input diode is forward bias in this configuration for the transistor, from this input characteristic, we can determine the input resistance for CE circuit by calculating the ratio of change in base emitter voltage delta VB to the change in base current delta IB at constant VC gives input resistance Ri in ohms. So Ri is delta VB upon delta IB at particular VC. You just see the IV characteristic. So you can, from this you can find out the IV characteristic, you can find out the internal resistance. Note that the value of input resistance Ri for CE configuration is in the range of few hundred ohms. We study the output IV characteristic for transistor, which is the curve between collector current IC and the collector emitter voltage VC at constant base current IB. The base current IB is set at some constant value, say 10 microampere. Then vary the voltage between collector and emitter VC at the output and note the corresponding collector current. The same procedure is repeated at different base currents IB say 20 microampere, 30 microampere, 40 microampere, and corresponding values of IC varying VC are noted. Then plot the graph taking collector current IC on y-axis and collector emitter voltage VC on x-axis at particular base currents like 10 microampere, 20 microampere, 30 microampere, 40 microampere. This gives the family of output IV characteristic for common emitter transistor circuit as shown in figure. Now output IV characteristic for NPN transistor. So this is the from this output characteristic for common emitter configuration, we see that collector current IC increases with VC for certain range 0 to 1 volts for knee voltage, then remains constant. As the base current IB is set to the higher values, the collector current is also increased. Note that small variation in base current in microampere causes the large variation in collector current in milliampere. Hence the amplification is performed. We can circulate the amplification factor denoted as beta from these output IV characteristics as the ratio of change of output collector current to change in input base current. Now beta is equal to delta IC upon delta IB. Also from this in IV characteristic we can determine the output resistance RO, which is the ratio of change in collector emitter voltage delta VCE to the change in collector current delta IC at constant base current IB. So R0 is delta VC upon IC at particular IB. The value of output resistance for common emitter configuration is of the order of 40 to 50 kilo ohm. Now this is the transistor operating regions in output characteristic. You just see the below IB 5 milliampere there is a cutoff region, then 5 milliampere to 40 there is the active region, and you just see at the y-axis there is a saturation region. How these regions are classified? One more important use of output IV characteristics is the operating regions of transistor are decided from it. The cutoff regions where the base current is 0, collector current is 0 for any value of VC. The saturation region is where the collector current is at its maximum value at particular base. The active region is where collector current changes approximately depending upon the amplification factor beta with base current. These regions are shown in figure 2.9. The usefulness to define these regions in the transistor is operated properly in particularly applications like amplifier, oscillator and switching purpose. So today we are going to stop here. In next lecture we will see the concept of amplification block diagram. Okay.